Our agenda is before you, anybody?
We adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Member Hibbs. Anyone else? All those in favor? Very good. There are minutes from August 18th. We had the opportunity to go through those. Mr. Gullickson?
I'll move the minutes as presented.
You? Did anyone have anything? Revisions? We're good?
Yeah.
Very good. All those in favor? Thank you. As presented, very good. We do have a single permit application before us. Crystal, you want us to take us through the commercial recreational establishment at 5404 56th Avenue, please?
Pardon me. Application has been received for a dance studio to be located at 5404 56th Avenue, zone Community Services District, CS. The proposed dance studio is a relocation, pardon, an expansion of an existing business currently operating in Lacombe. The proposed location is within the Community Services District. The use, having some specialized elements, is being considered a use similar to a commercial recreation establishment. Neighboring property consultations were sent out to 6 adjacent landowners within 16 meters of the subject site, and at the time of writing this report, no responses were received. As per section 12.9.3 of Land Use Bylaw 400, the purpose of the Community Services District is to provide an area for larger scale community, recreation, government, and other public facilities and their accompanying uses. And within the Community Services District, any other use that is similar, in the opinion of the Development Authority, to the listed permitted and discretionary uses may apply for a discretionary use development permit. Dancer's Edge Studio is an existing business within the city of Lacombe that wishes to relocate and expand their current competitive and recreational dance business on a larger scale to include classes such as yoga, aerial yoga, Zumba, camp, and a preschool aged fine arts program. The 1,750 square meter area, which would accommodate the proposed 4 dance studios, 1 yoga studio, 1 boot camp gymnasium, and 1 preschool aged fine arts studio. Okay. As the dance studio operations are proposed to be larger in scale, the use most closely falls under the definition of a commercial recreation establishment. A commercial recreation establishment means a building or portion thereof designed for sports and active recreation where patrons are predominantly participants and any spectators are incidental and attend on an occasional basis. It may include, but is not limited to, billiard halls, bowling alleys, and amusement arcades. As an active form of recreation, patrons will be participating in the proposed activities and spectators may be present during recitals. Planning and Development Services is of the opinion that the Preschool Aged Fine Arts Club would fall under commercial recreation as well. There are currently 32 paved parking spaces located on the subject site and serviced with power for the winter months. The subject site is the former location of the Parkland Regional Library. At present, most of the 1,875 square meter building is vacant, with a 125 square meter bay currently being leased and utilized by a temporary community market, which is a food rescue pilot project. This requires a small amount of parking for its operations. The land use bylaw is not prescriptive regarding how many parking spaces should be provided for the temporary community market, as the requirements are at the discretion of the Development Authority, and the use is new to Lacombe and is being piloted at this time. However, the space is used, limited to days and hours being piloted. Sorry. As well, the subject site is located in a central area with an abundance of public parking located at the vicinity. While determining parking requirements for this application, it was noted that a commercial recreation establishment is not included in Table 8.2 of the Land Use Bylaw on required parking spaces. Section 8.18.2 of the Land Use Bylaw states, the number of parking spaces shall be determined by the Development Authority having regard to similar uses listed below and the estimated traffic generation and attraction of the proposed use. Therefore, staff derive parking requirements from the public use community, welfare and recreation facility requirements and the commercial use fitness facility requirements as they closely resemble the proposed occupancy, with the key difference being nonprofit operation and drop-in compared with membership. And staff are of the opinion that the 32 parking spaces currently located on the subject site are sufficient for the proposed commercial recreation establishment and temporary community market for the following reasons. Public parking is available at City Hall and the Kinsman and Product Center, which are both within 100 meters of the subject site. The temporary pilot community market operates once per week on Thursdays. As the subject site is the former location of the Parkland Regional Library, the previous occupants posted no parking signage in certain locations around the site, as well as painting no parking on an old loading zone in the parking lot. Given that the current and proposed occupancies will require all available parking, the applicant will be required to remove all signage related to parking restrictions from the site, including the painted parking lot area. With respect to bicycle parking, as per table 8.4, one space is required for every 200 square meters for the first 600 square meters, and an additional space for the following 100 square meters. Bicycle parking to accommodate 4 bicycles will be required. With regard to traffic generation, adult clientele of the dance studio would likely drive themselves to the subject site and require parking spaces. However, non-driving clientele would likely carpool, for example, if coming from a day home, or being dropped off and picked up. Temporary community market is anticipated to have staggered hours of operation once per week, which should not interfere with the dance studio's operations. Dance Studio wishes to sell merchandise such as logo wear, make dance shoes, things like that. It's accessory use from the subject site. Accessory retail sales is permitted use within the community services district. Given the centrally accessible location of the proposed occupancy and the availability of off-street parking on the site, Planning and Development Services recommends approval of a commercial recreation establishment, dance studio, subject to conditions.
Thank you. With respect to those conditions, I might just put some wording issues with number 7. I assume that's to be the applicant is to provide bicycle parking for 4. And then number 9, applicants to apply for all signage. Is it signage permits or signage development?
Sign permit.
Permit, thank you. So just those couple little minor additions there. That's all that I noticed. And given that we have no proponent here, does anyone have any other input?
Just really more a comment, just I'm sure the applicant is aware, but just to reiterate to them about making sure that their patrons are not parking in the Wolf Creek like outreach parking area, because even what you might consider after school, the school is still open, and so obviously those students need to be able to access their building and not be offset by people attending the dance studio or whatever. Same thing with obviously the bus barns need to be respected as far as access, because those are big buses to move and it can be tight corners. That's really only my only comments. It seems that there's adequate parking. The parking spots on the west side of the building are awful tight for large vehicles. I would suggest never parking a truck on that side, but cars would be perfectly fine. I think this will be a very nice location, and I can't think of a reason why it's not appropriate, being given that it's so close to the schools and well, most of the schools, I should say all the schools, but so yeah, I don't have any concerns or issues with it. Just those comments to please share with the applicant.
Thank you. Member Glant, are you? Your video feed was flashing in and out. I wasn't sure if you were have your hands up or not.
Oh, no, thanks, Chair Creasy. I would agree with Member Hibbs. I think it's a great location and yeah, I'm all for the application.
Very good, thank you. Anyone care to make a motion? Member Ellison.
Thank you, Chair Creasy. I'll move then that the Municipal Planning Commission approve a commercial recreation establishment dance studio with accessory use retail sales to be located at 5404 56th Avenue, Lot 2, Block 1, Plan 8920577, zoned Community Services District.
With the attached.
Oh, yeah, attached. 11 condition.
11 for the number.
11.
Very good. Everyone's okay with that then? Very good. All those in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Our favorite part, the summary of permits issued from the development officer.
There are none this time.
What?
Guys?
You're on holidays, that's why.
And given our item number 6, was this just to bring everybody up to date, or do we have some information, additional information with regards to the subdivision and appeals board regional hearing from August 24th?
We do not have a decision yet. We're just sharing for information that there was an appeal against one of the applications made. The hearing was held on August the 24th, as you're aware. The appeal was with regard to the position of an accessory building in the residential light industrial district and its proximity to the north property boundary and the adjacent.
Thank you. And a standard procedure that they are given as a board, they're given 15 days to render their decision.
And we are expecting the decision on or before September.
Perfect.
Fine.
Does anyone have any questions on that item?
Only I'm assuming that the decision will be shared with us then when it is known. Very well.
Certainly.
Oh, and just because we haven't had this, sorry, apologies. I'm assuming there's actually a decision, like a document. Would that be part of the package? Like, would we actually be able to read it? Because that would be interesting to see, regardless of how they find their reasonings again.
Yes, they will issue the decision in writing by email and then by a letter
Okay,
to all of the parties that were interested.
and so we will see that as well.
We can attach that on the agenda for sure.
I would like to see it, yeah, just because this doesn't happen very often, and so it's I think it's beneficial.
And I think that is because that is the next step for those individuals that choose to take advantage of it. I think it's appropriate that it be brought back here for our information and the public's as well. So that would be good. Thank you.
You said we'll have it by the 8th? Is
They
that?
are required to provide it.
Oh, okay, so we'll have the coffee with council then that night. So it'd be nice to know that prior to that.
I guess officially we wouldn't see it till the 15th. But we could.
Yeah, they could. It would be nice to know because the people that appealed will know, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they will know, so.
And we have our next meeting listed here is September 15th. Do we have any files currently?
Nope. So we're looking at tentatively October 6th. We haven't received any applications yet, but the deadline to apply is September 15th. So reserve October 6th for now, and then we'll let you guys look a little bit closer to.
Very good, but definitely this the 6th, September 15th one is.
Yes, great.
Thank you.
Sure.
And the October 6th. Member Glantz, you got that last information on dates? Very good. I believe that concludes our business for this evening. Very good. All those in favor? That is unanimous adjournment at 5:14. We didn't even